Those doing ritual have the assurance of time. Individual acts of art do not have to depend on permanence of the materials, only the permanence of the soul. World, soul, without end. I create a peace. I wipe my hands, my feet, my body. It remains in the fabric of time, threading through the millennia, remembered and forgotten 1,000 times over, yet there, seen, not seen, experienced as part of the air. 1993. I've always been interested in history and how history flows, and what happens and the drama of history and what that means to the average person. People have often talked about the Black avant-garde of the 60s, and I was involved with that, but I was involved with it later on in the 60s, heading towards the 70s. But you might say that with the insurrection of 1965 in Watts, that really kind of started that, the movement, shall we say, the movement of washing out pretty much all Western ways of thinking, materials, painting, sculpture with stone and so on and so forth, and just trying to find our new vocabulary for ourselves. So my thinking about the body also had to do with a lot of things, my personal history, my love of dance and movement, and all of the energies that your body takes in. With my pantyhose series in particular, it lends itself to actually being activated by movers, dancers. And so when I started developing these, I thought, I really want to interact with these. And then finally I had other people, particularly Maren Hassinger, who collaborated with me for many years, to start activating these pieces. And with that activation, again, it's enhancing the power of the piece. Whoever has a connection with my work is responding to it in some kind of way, to the point where they have a dialogue that's going on. And that is really important to me, that these relationships start happening with whatever I'm doing. And so with the materials, with the pantyhose, I tried to find something that was akin to the body. It's about seeing something that really kind of turns me on, that's really fascinating. And so instead of thinking of an idea like I want to make a tree or something, again, there's this relationship. I look at the piece of work, the piece of material, and I start kind of dialoguing with it. And, we have a conversation. Okay, what do you want me to do with you? And then it goes from there. We all have those times where we just get stuck. And it's kind of painful. I mean, it's, looking at an empty page, if you're a writer, what to write down on this clean piece of paper. Oh my gosh, it's frightening. And similarly with a canvas, actually there is, I don't know if I can call it a Senga-ism or a Nengudi-ism, but I have this idea that a bouncing ball is unpredictable. So be unpredictable. So if you're in that situation, if I take a ball and I, bounce it across the room, it's going to make me move in particular ways that I might not have thought about before. So breaking through in that way helps me to get to the next point. And also being in this, being in the state of being and not thinking of the future or the past, that gives me an avenue into doing something different. I can't do things that other people do. I can only, do things in a way that feels like I'm really doing something. I look at art as a big ship, and there's enough room for everybody because everybody has a different aesthetic, and it's just like language. Each person responds to a different language, and so whatever, this is big enough for everybody. So if it's big enough for everybody, I don't have to worry about doing something like somebody else did. I have enough space to do it in my own way.